Hello, and welcome to the 3 simple steps to success for women. I am so grateful that you have decided to share some of your time with me today, and I really want to say congratulations for being willing to invest in yourself. Self-care and self-development are not selfish. It's actually a gift that you give to everyone around you that helps all of you live better lives, because then you're radiating out the best version of who you are. I'm Tammy Sugar, and I have spent my entire life leading and coaching and mentoring thousands of women to success during my career and in my entrepreneurship. I really want to take today and show you how you can become the woman that you were meant to be. And the world is ready for that. Can you feel it? Because I can. And that's really why I created the I Am Worth It project. Because I know when you experience success, I know that you will see how it will impact you, impact your family, and more importantly, too, impact the world at large. And how would success transform you to have more money, more confidence, and more freedom? So let's get started. We have about an hour together today. We want to get going right away. Okay, this class is for you if you feel like you're working hard, but no one notices, and you wish you had the confidence to speak up and ask for what you want, more importantly, what you deserve. Or if you've been concerned in the past that you can't succeed as a woman, then I want you to know today you can put those fears to rest. Or if you've conditioned yourself to believe that you're just not worth it, you're not good enough, smart enough, educated enough to live the life you dream about. Maybe you have already achieved success, but you know that there's more out there. There's a next level that you want to go to. But it leaves you a little uncomfortable and maybe feeling some fear. I want you to put that to rest, because I want you to know you can go after it and get it. And I want to show you what's really holding you back from becoming that person that you already know somewhere inside that you are. So what are my goals for today? Well, I want you to stop wondering why it seems so hard to get that promotion, get that raise, build that startup, make that, career jump, and really just negotiate a yes to the things that you want in life. And I want to stop every woman from feeling that they are not good enough, right? Or they're less than other people. More importantly, to not be stuck and existing in a life that you are unhappy with. And I want you to know, and I want to show you that it's okay to stand up, speak out, and to soar into your highest potential. I want you to see what I have that is really the personal driver behind transformation for women. So a little bit of housekeeping. Give yourself the gift today of being present. There's a reason why you're watching me, this presentation right now. Something touched you that made you click on the button, follow the link, whatever it is, however you got here, there is a reason why you're here. So give yourself that gift of being present, because when you do, you're going to have those aha moments, the moments when the blinders of your brain open up and you can never go back and think about a topic or an idea or yourself in the same way again. And those are true moments of transformation that can only happen when you're present. So shut down the distractions. I know what it's like to be on the other side of the computer. We got our phone going and our iPads and the doors open. So shut it down and give yourself the gift of this hour just for you. And for those of you who stay with me till the end, I have a special gift for you that really solves a problem that is the number one concern that women ask me about. So stick with me till the end, and I'm going to show you how you can receive that special bonus. But you want to do this because you're worth it. You're here for a reason, and you are worth this hour. I mean, it's the foundation of everything I teach. But who am I? Well, as I said, I'm Tammy Sugar. I'm a product of self-education. I've been, creating success against the odds and the norms of what the world says is the right way or the right credentials my entire life. I'm a certified NLP practitioner. So what does that mean? Really, it's the study of how the brain drives your behavior. I was also the driver behind the introduction of one of the most successful second-tier membership cards I consider in the world. So do you have a Costco card? Because if you do, I probably sold you the executive card if you live in Western Canada. I helped bring our region to #1 in multiple stores with multiple different levels of revenue. I loved Costco. I had an amazing career there. I started, because I was married at the time, we sold all our businesses, and I started there just part-time because I was going to retire when I was 35, if you can believe it. Now, of course, life hands you curveballs, and I got a divorce, which was actually a good thing for me. But I built a very successful career at Costco as an operational strategist. I was a problem solver, and they would put me in areas where they needed rapid solutions. But after 19 years, I was thinking to myself, and maybe this has crossed your mind, is this all there is? Am I going to do this for the rest of my life until I retire? And I decided to make a change. And I landed at this startup company that was converting waste energy into usable electricity. So a big change in industry. But I made the jump, and I jumped in. I was hired as a human resource manager, and I helped them build that company from that idea to $125 million market cap. We raised over $70 million in equity for the business, and I was responsible for the whole infrastructure, so for the foundation of what any business is built on, so it can be profitable. So I was known as the profit maker, and I do that well for both careers and businesses, help make you profitable. And more importantly, I designed all the training and development that helped our 50 plus employees create success in a startup business that grew very rapidly. Now, I'm going to tell you about the aha moment that had me change and make a big jump into becoming an entrepreneur a little later in the presentation. But I did, and I'm the founder of the I Am Worth It project. I'm coming to you live from our studio, the home of transformation. And what I do here is I help women lead the worthy, wealthy lifestyle. Because I believe when you are worthy and wealthy, that's when you have the most freedom, and that's when you can create the most lasting change, not just for you, not just for the people that you love, but for the world at large. So everything we do at the I Am Worth It project is to create a transformational journey for women to go from where they're at, where they might think it's impossible, that their dreams are impossible, and bring those impossible dreams into reality and learn how to live that worthy, wealthy lifestyle. I'm an author. My book is in the background on one side here, Chasing Worthiness, and it's my personal journey from not feeling like I'm not good enough, smart enough, thin enough, and hundreds of other kinds of enough. And it comes out digitally in October and in the bookstores in January 2021. I'm a speaker both here in my event center and on other people's stage. And I'm also a TEDx speaker. But what you really want to know about me is what I do for women is I help you get to that 6 figures and more. Because I know at 6 figures, you will start to experience true freedom. Freedom not to stay where you don't want to be, and the freedom to move into the life that you choose. So I'm a strategist, and what does that mean? How is that different from a coach? I'm going to give you my expert advice, my 25 plus years of knowledge and experience that have helped me and other women, rapidly grow our salaries, grow our businesses, and I'm going to get you there quick. So I don't want this to take a long time. So I've packaged everything that I know and everything that I've done to help myself and other people be successful into a program that helps women, because I can only help so many women one-to-one, and I want to have a global impact because I really believe that we can change the world for everyone one worthy, wealthy woman at a time. So I'm on a mission to bring 100,000 women into the worthy, wealthy lifestyle. I'm also an unlikely candidate for success. So if you look back to where I started, I can say it because, I'm talking about myself, but I really grew up in what people called the hood. And if you had take a look at the path I took, you wouldn't have expected that I would have been able to achieve the success that I have in my life. So, I literally worked my way up from the stockroom floor to the boardroom table as a C-suite corporate executive, as a chief administrative officer. I was a teenage mom and I dropped out of school. I was married into an abusive marriage before I was even old enough to vote. So at 16, I sentenced myself to a life without success. Can you imagine? As I look back now, I'm like 16. I didn't realize how many years of life I actually had ahead of me. And at 36, I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. This was really, of course, a life-changing moment for me when I was in the doctor's office and I said to him, "Am I going to die?" And he said, "I don't know." And in that moment, I was filled with this overwhelming sense of regret. And it wasn't regret for the things I had done or the mistakes that I always carried around, you know what I mean, that I believed I made. It was regret for the things that I hadn't done, that I hadn't went after, all the dreams I had pushed down, waiting, until I was ready or that I felt that I was good enough to do them. I really didn't believe I was worthy of the dreams that I had. And in that moment, I made a commitment to myself that if I lived through this, that I would never experience that feeling of regret again, because it was awful. When you believe now you've run out of time. So everything that you push down are exactly the things that you want to be doing. And I didn't realize it. It's in hindsight that I see that in order to keep that commitment, that's actually where the seeds of the I Am Worth It project were planted, because I would need worthiness in order to step outside my comfort zone and go after these big dreams. So how does this apply? Well, there's so many hidden strategies that they don't teach you in school or the workplace. We're getting taught in traditional education a skill set, which is great, right? But you're not taught how to go out into the world and execute successfully and on a day-to-day basis. And your past circumstances do not predict your future success. So this is a message of that. And it's an example that you can succeed even if the world is telling you don't have the right credentials. But most importantly, this is a cautionary tale. It's a cautionary tale of the danger of putting your dreams on hold, because really time has an ending. And when that comes for you, you want to make sure that you are living a life that has no regrets. So a little bit about results. Some of the women that I have been fortunate enough to work with. Shannon is a young professional teacher who had a dream, a passion called Beyond Our Image. She wants people to see that when we look at other people that we often don't see, what we see is not actually who they are. And she felt stuck. Has that ever happened to you where there's something you want to do and you keep trying, but you keep getting pushed back to where you started? Well, that was how Shannon felt. And after she worked with me, she launched her Beyond Our Image on social media. I encourage you to check her out on Facebook and Instagram. And she had so much success because she built that snowball of momentum. You'll hear me talk about that a lot during the presentation, that she was actually picked up for a segment on television. And you can see her here in this photo. And she said, a big reason this happened, Tammy, was because of working with you. And that's where having a mentor that has the experience, that's walked a mile in your shoes and knows the way, can expedite your growth. So what are we going to cover in today's masterclass? Well, first of all, how to set yourself free from false beliefs so you can become the woman you are meant to be. And then how to believe you're worth it so you can start living the life that you're worth. And how to rewire your brain so you can remove some of the roadblocks to your success that I bet right now you're not even aware of. So let's get started with step number 1, how to break free from false beliefs. And where do these false beliefs come from anyways? Well, first of all, from childhood. This is me when I was 3 or 4 years old. And Dr. Bruce Lipton writes that from the time we're born until we're about 6 to 8 years old, I actually believe it's a little bit longer. It's like we're in a hypnotic trance. And all our beliefs and perceptions about who we are, what we're capable of, and how the world works, that come from our family, our environment, sometimes where we live geographically, are directly downloaded into our subconscious mind, our brain. So what's the problem with this? Well, as children, we don't have the ability to use critical thinking. And what does that mean? That means we're not able to look at all these beliefs that we have about who we are and what we're capable of and how the world works and what we can accomplish and decide if they're true or not. So as children, what do? We just accept that everything is true. And then we head off to school, a breeding ground for false beliefs. There I am with my arms crossed heading into junior high. Almost every woman I speak to can remember a moment in their education where someone either said something to them or wrote something about them that stuck with them decades later. You're good at math, but you can't read, you're shy, or you talk too much, you're a troublemaker, you can't sing, so you can't be in the choir, or, even from other children. Raise your hand if you can remember it, because I know we all can. So here's the thing, as children, we are pushed to fit in. We're pushed to fit into a certain way of living, a certain way of thinking. So it's all about fitting in, and especially at school. I remember in junior high heading in there, and I was having a real challenging time, and I thought to myself, well, gee, if I could just get a pair of these star jeans that all the other girls were wearing. They were designer jeans back in the day with a big star in the back pocket, but they were $25, which for my parents was way too much money. My dad worked hard every day, but we lived payday to payday. And so I decided to get my first job in order to get these jeans at Ponderosa Steakhouse. Can you remember your first job? For $1.35 an hour. Because I thought if I could get these jeans, then it would help me fit in. But in reality, it really didn't. And here's the problem, though. So we're pushed to fit in. I really want you to hear this. And then we head into adulthood. And the quickest way to success is not to fit in. It's to stand out in the crowd, right? It's to stand out. But even as adults, we struggle in the workplace, in our business, in our networking, to stand out from other people, to do things differently. I've seen it so many times in a workplace where someone doesn't want to do a really great job because then their coworkers will say to them, oh, you're sucking up to the boss. Can you imagine that we're carrying on these same beliefs and behaviors because we don't even think about it? So one of the missing components of being an adult is the ability to stand out and live and be and exist at your highest potential. And then finally, we all have a belief about what is the right path to success. So if you've ever sat and said to yourself, shouldn't I be at a different place at this age? Shouldn't I be making more money, or shouldn't I own a home or be married or have children? You are judging yourself compared to what you believe is the right path. Now, my right path, of course, came from my parents, Florence and Twyville. There they are right now. They're both in heaven looking down at me right now saying, you go, girl. But for me, the right path was to graduate high school, get a good job with a pension so I could stay there for 40 years. We never really talked about going to college, get married, have a couple of children, buy a house, a bigger house, retire. Hopefully I would have grandchildren, maybe be able to do some traveling, and then die. That was the right path to success. That is the measuring stick of which I would use to judge myself to see if I had lived that bit of a better life than my parents. So when you're thinking about that right right path, and you're asking yourself those questions like, shouldn't I be making more money, or shouldn't I have a house by now? You want to question that, because this is how you're measuring your success. And here's the real question: is there only one right path? Well, the answer is no. And many people take different paths to success, and so can you at any time. Like Rachel Ray, one of my favorites, because she has been so successful in the food industry and never went to culinary school. Of course, Oprah, who came from humble beginnings and now is one of the richest women in the world. And me, I started off, in the hood, and worked my way up literally from the stockroom floor to the boardroom table. But there's one more person who's on this list, and it's really important to say to yourself that at any time you can decide on the right path that works for you, not the right path that was necessarily downloaded when you had no choice, to ask yourself the questions if it would serve you to live at your highest potential. And that other person is you. I want you to insert your name here. So no matter what you're thinking about the mistakes you may have made, or the right path that you took, or, now it's too late, or it's too early, I'm too young, I'm too old, we have all these reasons. None of that is true. This is Jolene, a successful young business owner. And she had some difficulties with the part of owning a business that a lot of women have, and that was taking charge of challenging conversations, negotiating difficult decisions. And when she was done working with me, she had reset her beliefs about what she was capable of, and it empowered her as a business owner to overcome fear, right? We've all had it where we don't want to speak up and say the thing we know we need to say. We don't want to make that phone call. We don't want to negotiate a contract, even though we know we're being taken advantage of. And I'll tell you, I was so proud of her. She went in there and she renegotiated a couple of her leases, and that put money back into her business. And she did this because she was able to reset her beliefs about what she was capable of. She says, it changed my life, and anyone can do anything if they follow Tammy's steps. Now, you might also be thinking, this is just who I am, Tammy. There's absolutely nothing I can do about that. And I know I've thought that before too. But I want you to know this. We all are the same. This is a common human experience. We all head into adulthood with this backpack filled with our false beliefs from our childhood, from our school, from our belief about what the right path to success is. And it's filled to the brim. We carry it into adulthood, and that backpack has already decided, before you do anything, who you are, what you're capable of, and how the world works, okay? And here's the problem with that. Most of those beliefs that are in that backpack, you never had any say over. They were downloaded from other people, and they're not going to serve you to live at your highest potential. But we're not taught, and we never open up that backpack to ask ourselves this question: is this who I really am? Is this who I really even want to be? Because you can change your mind. In my backpack floated these top 3 beliefs. Number 1, from my dad, who I adore. He would say to me, Tammy, just work hard and everything will be okay. And I did work hard. But you know what else? I was always working hard and waiting for someone else to notice me and offer me that raise or opportunity or promotion. I was waiting for someone else to decide what I deserved and what I was worth. And number 2, I wasn't as smart as other people because I didn't graduate high school. So that kept me silent and in shame, never speaking up for what I wanted, and more importantly, I deserved. And finally, number 3, because I had fallen off that right path, I became a teenage mom. I dropped out of high school. I was married before I was old enough to vote. That was it. I was sentenced to a life without success. I want you to imagine, because is this you? At 16, I built my own prison without bars, caged by my false beliefs from my backpack, telling me that I would never be successful. That backpack of beliefs has you living small, dreaming small, more importantly, settling for less than you are worth. And if you're thinking, I still don't understand, I hate that deep work, Tammy, I don't want to dig in there, because I'm not asking you to dig in there and go back and spend 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years checking out your beliefs. This is not the way we work. We expedite our growth at the I Am Worth It Project. But if you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you are right. If you believe you can, or you believe you can, you will be right. Henry Ford. So here's the truth. Who you believe you are, what you believe you're capable of, and how you believe the world works was already decided before you had the ability to even consider whether it's good for you or not. And the I Am Worth It transformation program, the work we do at the I Am Worth It Project, starts by helping you reset those beliefs. So opening up that backpack, taking a look around there, keeping the ones that work for you, getting rid of the other ones, so that you can build a solid foundation for success, so that you can finally decide who you are, not from false beliefs that you've carried just because that's how the human experience works. So how to believe that you're worth it so you can start living the life that you're worth. And I want to share with you the truth that I learned about worthiness. I was on a constant chase for my worthiness up into my 5th decade, until one aha moment, like I talked about at the beginning, where the blinders of my brain opened up and I learned the truth. I was heading into a salary negotiation. It was year end, and you've probably had one, and I've sat in on thousands of them. I was on the phone with my son talking about the strategy I had going in. I knew I wasn't making the same as my counterpart, who was the president, and I was the chief administrative officer. And, for some reason, I had decided I was going to do something about that. But here's what happened on the phone with my son. Just before we hung up, he said to me, "Mom, it's not that they don't value you. It's that you don't value yourself." And in that one moment, it just clicked. Just like countless other women, I didn't believe that I was worth it. So I always just accepted what was offered to me. I never asked for what I wanted. And success, even though I achieved some, was a grind, because I was always the one working the hardest, because I didn't believe I deserved anything. But I discovered the truth about worthiness. And that is, worthiness is made up of our beliefs. So there's your backpack, what's inside there, because it's going to determine how good you feel about yourself, how worthy you believe you are. And those beliefs, let me say it again, most of those beliefs, you didn't even have a decision you didn't have a decision-making opportunity to decide if they would serve you. And a belief is, you can believe it's true, and you can also decide it's not true and delete it or replace it. And our backpack of false beliefs fuels that chase for worthiness until the day comes when we open it up and re-examine it. There's so many statistics out there, like Dr. Rubino, who says 85% of the population suffers from low self-esteem. That 85% of women say they've opted out of important life activities because they don't like the way they look. The closet shuffle, where you keep pulling down one thing after another, and no matter what you put on, all it does is make you feel worse and worse about yourself. More importantly, studies show that over 75% of women suffer from what they say is the imposter syndrome. So they feel like they're a fraud. So they've achieved some success, but they're not even enjoying it. They're thinking, oh my God, someone's going to, find out that really I'm not as good as it looks on the outside. And that's really just another name for a low worthiness tank, for not feeling good enough. Now, you might also be thinking, like I did, that, when I achieve my goals, when I get that success, then I'm finally going to feel good And finally, when I'm a chief administrative officer now, I'm not going to look around the room and feel like I'm less than other people. But that's not true. And Pam was an example of that. She was my first event planner for my I Am Worth It live events that I host. And she, successful business owner, self-made woman. You can see her here in the picture at the event. And about an hour in, I could see her in the back. I was on the stage and she had Kleenex. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what's going on back there? She's crying. And it wasn't until I went on break and I went to check and see, is everything okay? Are you okay? Is there anything going on with the event? And she said to me, she had always wondered why, that even though she was achieving goals, she was successful, she didn't feel good. She felt unhappy, she felt less than, and she realized just through the first couple hours of the live event that she had a low worthiness tank. She didn't believe that she was good enough. And what she said to me is what I hold true for myself, and that is that her worthiness tank was overflowing, but that was priceless. And your worthiness is priceless. I'm so grateful that I discovered my worth before the end of my life, because it's the best gift I could have given myself. When you're worthy, your success is about your passion and your dreams and your purpose, and it's bigger than you can even imagine, but it's also joyful. So here's the truth. If you suffer from not feeling good enough, it can't be fixed by success. It's fixed by emptying your backpack of false beliefs. And if you haven't cleaned out that backpack, if you've never opened it up and said, is this really who I am? Is it true that I'm bad at math? Am I really shy? Have you sentenced yourself to a life without success? And you can decide at any time who you are. You can take the power back. You can take your power back and decide who you are and who you want to be and what you're capable of. Now, one of my favorite parts is talking about the brain and how to, do some rewiring, some resetting so that you can remove the roadblocks to your success. I've heard this thousands of times from women about how they feel like they're a quitter, they're a failure. We start things, but I never finish it. And you believe, that's why you don't have success. It's that boomerang, that success boomerang where you're inspired and you move 2 steps forward and the next thing you know, you're all the way back. And what happens? We feel like failures. But I want to talk to you about the brain. Now, this is a topic that should be taught in school because we all have one, and the brain is the most powerful computer on the planet. Now, here's the thing. We update our iPhones, we update our software, we update our furniture, our appliance, our mattresses, you name it. We do updates on everything. But when was the last time you did an update on your thinking? Well, we don't. I always ask in my live events, are you operating with a Commodore 64? One of the first computers that I remember having. And isn't it time for you to do that update in the way you think about who you are and what you're capable of and how the world truly does work? And you might be thinking, like I was in that moment at Costco after 19 years, is this all there is? Or maybe there's another reason pushing you to have that thought. Is it your relationship or just how you feel in general? Is this all there is? I really thought at this point my life would be different, or my business would be different, or my career would be different. I want you to consider this. Dr. David Eagleman says that we spend 95% of our day in what I call the robot life. So what is that? You're doing exactly the same thing every day. So you get up the same way, you go to work or your business the same way, you answer questions the same way. You're basically living like a robot. And in this state of unawareness, you're making decisions that drive your behavior that determine how your life will be. Now, I love this quote from Albert Einstein that the definition of insanity, and it's true, is to do the exact same thing over and over again and expect the same result. But we do this because we're not taught the power of how to use our brain to rewire our thinking. And so we just continue to live exactly the same way, wishing and hoping for a miracle that will give us the life that we really want. But why does this happen? So, the way I like to share this with you is asking this question: do you drive? Now, I remember when I first learned how to drive, I was in the car with my dad, big car, by the way. He's sitting next to me, and I was afraid. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to keep this big car between the two lines on the road. Now, you fast forward to today, and I'm excited. I'm on my way to the studio. I'm going to do a master class. And before you know it, whoa, has this happened to you? You're driving, but your mind is not in the car. So, what is that? Well, it's the power of automaticity. It's a program that your brain runs. It's how you live that robot life, because when we repeat behaviors and actions over and over and over again, we can do them without thinking. Now, that's a problem when we keep existing in the same life expecting a different result. But there is also good news about automaticity. You can use that very same program and the power of your brain to create those repetitive behaviors, those rituals and routines that lead you to success, instead of just letting your brain do it. And it's going to lead you to that robot life where you're just existing. And maybe you've experienced this. You're inspired. I'm inspired. I'm going to start that diet. I'm going to do that fitness program. I'm going to ask for that raise. I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to go out there and date. And then the next thing you know, you have this waterfall of negative thoughts. Thoughts like, I can't do this. What was I thinking? I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I certainly don't have the skill. This could never, ever happen for me. Have you experienced that before, when you're inspired and the next thing you know, you're pulled back into this waterfall of negative thoughts? And so you retreat. And what happens? You feel like a failure. You feel like a quitter. It's the success boomerang. You're inspired, you move forward, and the next thing you know, you're back to where you started. And what does that do? It makes you feel like a failure. So you just give up, and instead you remain in the robot life, just existing. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not you. You're not a failure. You don't lack willpower, and you're certainly not a quitter. This is a common human experience that we don't talk about. And we definitely don't get taught this in either our educational system or the workplace. This is your brain on change. Your brain is wired to protect you. So anytime you step outside that robot life, outside your comfort zone, your brain will use the method of the waterfall of negative thoughts to reel you back in to your comfort zone, into the robot life, because it thinks it's saving you, even if what you were just a few moments ago inspired to do will be good for you. This is a common human experience. But you have a choice. You can let your brain run wild, operate on a Commodore 64, and have you living that robot life, because that's exactly what it'll do. It's going to keep you in the safety of that repetitive behavior, right? Because that's the brain's job, is to keep you safe. Or you can learn how to train your brain to reset your thinking and insert, using the power of the brain, which you already have, those success routines and rituals. But it is a choice. Let's talk about, what have you learned in the masterclass so far? Well, when you headed into adulthood, it was already decided who you are, what you were capable of, and what you would accomplish in life. It was all carried in your backpack of false beliefs. Not feeling good enough is not a fault. It's not a fault you have. There's nothing wrong with you. We often think because we have these thoughts that we're not good enough, that means there's something wrong with us. It is not, because worthiness is made up of these beliefs that you had no say over. And most are false, by the way. And it's possible to reset these false beliefs without spending years reliving the past, because, wasting time is not an option for me, because it's about expediting growth and success so that we can live as much of our life, the time that we have, at our highest potential. And once you learn how to train your brain, it can be used to remove the roadblocks to your success, like your brain on change, like letting your brain run your life so you're in a robot life. And you have learned secrets that are just not taught in school or the workplace. And I want you to also know that, and what I've hoped I've shown you throughout the first part of this presentation, is that I've already helped thousands of women, including myself, take that impossible and make it possible, because that is my superpower in business, in career, and in people's lives, is to, when you're believing it's impossible, I'm here to show you how it is possible. I am that mentor that can take you on a journey to success. So are you ready? Are you ready for transformation? Are you ready to step out of that robot life? Are you ready to become the woman that you're meant to be? And more importantly, to just stop wishing, for the life you want, but to take that action to make that happen. Because if you're ready, I want to share with you what is a culmination of my life's work, which has been helping other people be successful. That's how I was able to go from the stockroom floor to the boardroom table. So it's the I Am Worth It transformation program, because it truly is a transformation. 6-season digital, you can do it at home, study program. And it's going to help you reset that backpack of beliefs. So now you decide, you take your power back and you decide who you are and what you're capable of. That you can learn to train your brain, something that we're just not taught, so you can bust through fears and move towards your goals. But most importantly, I want to arm you with business strategies that they don't teach you in school or in the workplace, that are going to have you standing out. Remember, we talked about that. We're pushed and pushed to fit in. And then when we get into the real world, what we really need to do is stand out, but we don't even know how to do that. I want you to have the confidence. I want you to have that confidence to get that raise, to start or grow a business, to follow your dreams, your passion, or your purpose. And I don't want you existing in a robot life, because I know what happens in that moment, the moment when you think, oh my goodness, I don't have any time left. And that feeling of regret is something that I don't want any other woman to experience. So let's talk about what's inside the 6 seasons. First of all, this is easy to consume content. And in season 1, we're going to unpack that backpack of false beliefs. As you look at those beliefs that you carried into adulthood that decided who you are, and you make the decision if they're true or not for you. You keep the ones that serve you to live at your highest potential, and the rest of them you get rid of. And in season 2, that's where we're going to change that thinking. We're going to learn how to manage our brain through change, and to use our brain to create those new success rituals that will remove the roadblocks to our success. And in season 3, one of my favorites, it's time to bust the myths about what it really takes to be successful out in the real world. We don't want to follow the crowd, because we're going to end up in the crowd. And I'm going to bust the myths about finding that perfect leader that's going to, take you by the hand when they have 100 or 200 other employees. It's not going to happen. You have to take charge of your success. You have to take charge of finding the right mentor for you. We have to empower ourselves to own our lives. And that's exactly what will happen in season 3. Now, in season 4, I love money. And if that makes you uncomfortable, if me saying that makes you uncomfortable, you have some money beliefs that you need to bust, and some shame that you need to get rid of. As women, we believe we can either be a good person or have money. And you know what that does? It keeps us broke. And when we're broke, we don't have freedom. We don't have freedom to get out of places we don't want to be, and we don't have the freedom to move towards our dreams. And season 4 is really about busting the shame and negative beliefs around money. Now, in season 5, it's time to crack down on those beliefs about selling. From women entrepreneurs, I hear all the time, I love what I do, but I hate to sell. Well, you don't have a selling problem. You have a belief problem. You have a worthiness problem. And that's what we're going to do in season 5, because selling is an exchange of value. And the reason why women have a problem with it is you don't believe you're worth what you're offering. So it's time to bust down those beliefs about selling so that you can go after the career, the business, and the life that you want. And in season 6, I'm giving you my secret strategies for success. Do you know that the number one form of business communication in every country around the world is meetings? And you also know that 75% of people never get formal training, how to conduct a meeting with strategy and how to execute it so that you get a yes. Well, I'm going to bust your myths about meeting. And not only that, I'm going to show you why knowing how to use this most important form of business communication will have you standing out in the crowd as an influential communicator and a person who gets stuff done. So this whole 6th season is about the reset. It's like, going bowling and you're knocking down all those false beliefs and they're staying down. You're hitting strike after strike after strike because you didn't decide who you are. It was downloaded, and it's time to take charge. I promise you that this is what will take you to success. Okay. Now, it's a 6-season digital course valued at $19.97, but that's not what I'm going to charge you today. So let's talk about who this will work for. It's for the women who want confidence. It's the number one thing I get asked for. How do I get more confidence so I can go after my career, go after a new business, or live the life I want? Women who are ready to stop waiting, like I did. I was always waiting for someone else to decide what I deserved. Women who have already achieved success. Maybe you're successful already like Pam, but you want to take it to the next level. But more importantly, you want to enjoy the success that you do have. And you want to learn those business savvy strategies so that you can stand out and be competitive in crowded markets. And you're ready to take charge of your own destiny. I can't tell you enough that big change for women will not come from the top down. After 25 plus years working in all sizes of corporations with heads of companies in many different industries and heads of government, it's not going to happen that way. It's too slow. Real change will come from the bottom up when we as women rise up and live at our highest potential, which is why I'm so passionate about women living the worthy, wealthy lifestyle, because you are empowering yourself. You're taking charge of your own destiny. And this works for women who want to hit that 6-figure. Don't be ashamed of that. Be proud that you want to take charge of your own life, that you want to be in charge of your destiny, that you want the freedom to leave where you don't want to be. That's so important to me. I spent 16 years in an abusive marriage, living in fear and always believing that I wouldn't have the money to take care of myself and my children if I left. Freedom to either not stay or to move forward to where I want to go is so essential to living the worthy, wealthy lifestyle. So I want to share Laura's story. She was a successful stylist. When she came to me, she had just opened her own salon. She'd made a decision to open her own salon. And she was struggling. She was like, oh, I loved what I did, but this whole business owner thing and understanding paperwork and profit and loss and having to be a boss, I don't want to do this. And it was really based on false beliefs. It wasn't that she couldn't do it. It's just that she believed that she couldn't do it. And when we were done working together, Laura became so successful that she sold her business for 5 times what she invested in it after 6 years. So can you imagine getting a 5-time return on your investment? I know that would certainly make changes in your ability to have freedom, to have choice. And it's possible. It's possible when you don't try and do things exactly like everybody else. When you do the work and you hit the reset and you're building success on that solid foundation of conscious decision making about who you are, because that's the real truth. That's the real truth of who you are. And it's the truth of becoming the woman you're meant to be. And Laura says, I didn't believe it was possible for me, but your program showed me that it was. Now, the I Am Worth It transformation program, the 6 seasons, that's all about the reset. That's all about building that solid foundation, right? So now you've decided who you are. You've decided what you're capable of. You have made the decision how you're going to go out into the world. And now I'm going to give you all of my wealth building strategies, how I've helped other women grow their businesses and get 5 times on the returns, get unstuck and launch their passion, learn how to do the difficult things that become as a business owner. And as myself, this is what took me from the stockroom floor to the boardroom table, even though the world was telling me that I didn't have the right credentials. These wealth building programs were built by a woman, that's me, for women, and that is you. So let's get started with these bonus programs that I'm including as a gift, because I don't just want you to be worthy, I want you to be wealthy. Number 1, how to become an engaged leader in 10 minutes a day. Leadership is so essential to success, whether you have a title that says you're a leader or not, because no matter what, we are always leading people. And when you learn this simple system that I developed to communicate easily and with influence with others, not only will you have your colleagues, your employees, other managers happily going and doing the things that they need to do, you're going to be looked upon as someone people want to follow, because you get things done and you give people that sense of accomplishment because you're showing them how to get out there and get stuff done for themselves. It's one of my most popular programs that I have sold to many different types of industries and sizes of companies. But I want to ask you this question. How much time have you spent planning a wedding or a birthday or a vacation? But our lives are the greatest event we will ever attend. How much time do you spend planning your life, designing it out, creating that life you want instead of just existing? In the robot life, same thing, different day. I'm including in the wealth building bonuses my personal Design Your Life program. I use this every single year to design my next year, to bring into my life, to create, consciously create and bring into my life the things that I want and I know will lead me to success. Takes you through my whole process of exactly what I do. I walk you step by step so you too can stop existing and stop waiting and start creating. Now, master the art of the yes. It's one of my favorite workshops and courses that I teach. And it always amazes me to see people's faces light up when they realize that they have more control over their success than they even knew. And this is a deeper dive into the actual strategy behind meetings, which really get a bad rap because they're so important and people pay little attention to how to successfully use them in their career, in their business, and even in life, to negotiate a yes to the things that you want. Don't just sit there waiting and hoping, going into a meeting saying, oh, I hope I get that job or I hope I get that sale, but learn how to negotiate a yes to the things that you want. And I would be remiss if I didn't include my selling system, because even to me, it was surprising how many women hate to sell. They love what they do, but the selling carries so much shame for women. They think it's rude and pushy and impolite. So especially as women, we now say, oh, we're selling from the heart, or, we're selling with love. And because we give the word selling, the word we don't want to say, other names, now we even have more shame about it. So we never ask for a sale. So I have included my Selling Made Simple, my personal system for creating an environment where your clients want to do business with you. And finally, I've taken a number of courses in professional development and often learned some really great golden nuggets. But then I didn't need them at that moment when I was learning. It was later on when I went to do a task or activity. And what I've done with the I Am Worth It transformation is this is not going to happen to you. So for every episode, that's over 39 episodes of pure golden nugget content, I've included a Mastered in a Minute video for each episode, so that at any time you can go back and relearn that key learning or that golden nugget of the lesson. So maybe you're heading in for a raise, you're heading in for a big sale negotiation, and instead of just thinking back, oh, what was it that I learned? What's the best way to do that? You can pop back in to the program and learn it easily in a minute. Okay, so the 6-season digital home study course, you can do it in the comfort of your own home, valued at just under $2,000. That's the reset. That's now I'm worthy. I'm going to decide who I am and what I'm capable of. And then the wealth building bonuses, because worthiness alone is not enough. Wealth gives you freedom of choice. Those programs are valued at just under $6,000. So total value of just under $8,000. This is going to start you. That's the first step to living the worthy, wealthy lifestyle. And you might be thinking, are you thinking this? I don't really have what it takes to be successful. I don't have the money. I don't have the skills or the education. I probably don't even have the time. Are you thinking that? Even though you were just inspired, you were thinking, yes, that's what I want. I want to be worthy. I want to be wealthy. I want to take charge of my life. So what's happening? Why are you thinking this now? It's your brain on change. It's your brain on change. And that's exactly why you need the I Am Worth It transformation program, because it will help you manage your brain through change. So you're not constantly like that success boomerang, just push back into the robot life. The robot life is where we just exist. On the other side of that is the life we live, where we're living at our highest potential, where we're achieving the things that we dream about, or we're becoming the woman that we're meant to be. It's your brain on change. The I Am Worth It transformation program and all the bonus gifts and over $7,900 in value. Honestly, I believe it's worth more. I mean, I have put together all of my learnings, my strategies that I have not only helped thousands of other women achieve success, but that I've sold to small, medium, and large corporations who have changed the way they do business, that I've helped startups, get success quickly. And really, that's the key, because I'm a strategist. This is about quick success. This is not about taking years to get where you want to go. Our regular price is $997, but today, because you're here, but even more importantly, here's what I know. If I give you an offer that you just can't say no to because there's so much value, you're going to go in, you're going to take this program, and when you do, here's what I can promise you. You go in and you take the action, you will get results. I have no doubt about that. It's my superpower. And when you do, I know what's going to happen because it's already happened before. You're going to tell other women, and that's going to help build our community. Can you imagine 100,000 worthy, wealthy women and what we could do to change the world for everyone? Not just women, but every man, every woman, and every child. And that is really my big why. So for today, I'm offering you the I Am Worth It transformation program. That's your reset, right? That's now I'm going to decide who I am. That's what you're going to do. You will decide who you are and what you're capable of by resetting and rewiring that thinking. And all the wealth building bonuses, because this is really the first step. Just on the other side is the start of the transformation to the worthy, wealthy lifestyle. A small investment, and I want it to be available to everyone. So I'm also offering it in a payment plan, 3 payments of $199. Telling you, click that link, click that button, because your transformation, your worthy, wealthy life is just on the other side. It's time for you to stop feeling like you're not good enough, you're not smart enough. It's time to stop living the robot life where you're just wishing that something will magically come along and change your life for you, because it won't. All roads lead back to you, and I have written the roadmap. I can guarantee you that. Now, I want to play you a testimonial. This was a message that was left for me by Jen, who is a product of everything that I teach. And I want you to hear from her the results that she was able to accomplish in her life. And then we'll talk about it. So let's just play that right now.
5:14 p.m. Hello, Miss Sugar. I have had a worthy, wealthy month, and I am so excited to tell you about it. But in so many words, I got offered a permanent position at my client's office, and the final comp package has tripled my income compared to 4 years ago. So all of my hard work at school and all of my hard work building up a client relationship and all of the stuff and all of the things you coached into me, I just got the final deal today, and I am like just buzzing. And on top of that, outside of the job, we've been in the process. We're closing on a new place. We're going to move in a couple of months. It's still in the same neighborhood. We're going to be welcoming new puppies into our life. I'm going to be done school in a couple of weeks. And so I've just been thinking about you all weekend and how so much of everything I do, I'm so grateful to you for. And I just have a story to add to your Worthy Women Network. And I will give you all kinds of testimonials if you need it. Because, Tammy, you are the best, and I wouldn't be here without you, babe. So, yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm so looking forward to connecting with you. And I still owe you a video testimony. Don't worry, it's in the back of my mind. I haven't forgotten. And, yeah, everything. I just wish you all the best, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.
So I love to play this, and I was actually just out recently to Jen's new home that she was talking about in this phone message that she left me, because we shot a video of her testimonial. And, you know, what really struck me was, I mean, it's impressive that she took all this knowledge, the mentorship that she talks about. And really what she said is, I taught her a different way to look at the world. I taught her a different way to look at and think about who she is and what she was capable of. And I taught her how to stand out. And then I taught her the strategies to do that. How to use meetings, how to use influence, how to communicate with others, how to get, you know, to engage people as a leader and get things done. All the stuff that we do not get taught in school, we get taught a skill. And so to triple your salary in 4 years is amazing. And the other thing I think that stuck with me when I was at Jen's new home was when she said to me, Tammy, all of this I wouldn't have now if it wasn't for your mentorship, because it would have taken me 10 to 15 years longer. And most of us are like that. We're following this traditional path, believing that that's the only way we can get successful. We have to wait our turn, or till someone tells us, you know, it's our time, that we can't quickly move up any kind of corporate ladder, or we can't start and build a business quickly. And it's just not true. It's because we don't know the way. And the reason why we don't know the way is because we don't get taught that in school. And this is what creates my passion for the I Am Worth It transformation program and the wealth building bonuses, because they go together to build a worthy, wealthy life.
5:14 p.m.
There we go. Let's not start it again. I think once was enough. Okay. So here's the thing. You have a choice. We all have choice. You know, this is where the freedom is. You can spend years trying to figure this out yourself. I certainly did in the earlier parts of my career. And as Jen said, so could have she, and it could have taken her 10 to 15 years longer than it did to achieve not only her career success, because that equated to 3 times her salary in 4 years, or you can expedite your growth with expert mentorship. And I am that expert mentor. I have worked my way up from the stockroom floor to the boardroom table. I have been the only woman in the room. I have built programs and strategies and tools to help you expedite your growth, because I've done it for myself and I've done it for others. So I also want to include a few more gifts because I know everything you need in order to be truly successful. Inside the resource vault is all my templates, checklists, all the things you need to take that knowledge and then execute on a day-to-day basis. And I also wanted to include the custom workbooks, because when we write things down, these workbooks are designed to take you on a journey of self-insights and transformation. And we retain 42% more of what we learn when we write it down. You can continue to live the robot life. You can get up every day and do exactly the same thing and wish and hope that magically one day your life will change and you'll be living the life that you want, or you'll be able to achieve the success that you want, or you'll be able to become the woman that you are meant to be. Or you can look for that real lasting change. And I know where that change comes from. It comes from doing the work first. Set the solid foundation so you're not like that boomerang going back and forth, 2 steps forward and 5 steps back. And that happens when you reset your beliefs and learn how to manage your thinking, to do some rewiring, to use the power of your brain. You already have the most important tool that's essential to success. You just have never been taught how to use it. And that's what you're going to get when you invest in the I Am Worth It transformation program today. Listen, this is a great value, over $9,000 in value with the 6-season foundation of worth, where you decide who you are. You take power and charge. You empower yourself of your own destiny. The 5 wealth building programs. You're not going to learn this anywhere else, I can promise you that. The resource vault with all the tools you need to take that knowledge and then execute it on a day-to-day basis, and the custom workbooks. Click the link. Your transformation is on the other side. The worthy, wealthy lifestyle for you as a woman is just one click away. And because I know this is going to give you the results that you so want, I'm also including my 100% guarantee. Go through the programs. You have full 14 days. They're not what you want. I don't care what the reason is. Send me an email and I'm going to give you your money back. Only a small investment of $497 today, or 3 payments of $199. And remember, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, I've tried things before and it doesn't work, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, it's your brain on change. And today is the first time. It's your aha moment. You're here for a reason. And that reason is to take that first step. Click the link. You're on the other side. You have nothing to lose. I'm taking all the risk because I know that we can change the world for everyone, one worthy, wealthy woman at a time. I don't want you to fear failure. I want you to have a fear about being in exactly the same place next year as you are today, because that's what happened to me when I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. And I didn't know if I was going to live. It wasn't the things that I did that I regret it. It wasn't. It was all the times I pushed my dream away, told myself it wasn't the right time, I didn't have the money, I didn't have the skills, I wasn't worthy of it. And I'm so grateful that I did get that second chance, because now not only am I sending you a message, a cautionary tale about taking action, but I'm an example, because if I can do this, so can you. And I can show you the way. That's my superpower. So click the link. It's as easy as a few seconds. You'll be already inside the program. You could get started right today, taking charge of your future and deciding who you are, what you're capable of, and the kind of life you want to live. The worthy, wealthy lifestyle for women. Okay, at the beginning, I promised you a bonus, so congratulations for staying until the end. And I'm excited to offer this to you because the number one thing I get asked for from women is about confidence, right? So for you, I have my Confidence Booster Pack that's going to help you kick up that confidence. I have my coaching class and so many little gifts that are in there that are so essential to taking you on the road to building that confidence. These are my most popular confidence tools and tips and strategies, and you deserve it because you have invested in yourself today. I promise you, don't wait another moment. You have nothing to lose. This is my passion. This is my mission. And I know that I can do for you what I've done for thousands of other women. So click the link. The Worthy Wealthy Lifestyle is just on the other side. And I can't wait to see you in there. Thank you.